Hi, my name is Trevor Izard. I am a student at Oak Bay High School, and I love to play sports, clubs, and all sorts of activities, and be involved in music around the community too. I've been learning all about Shakespeare in my English class for the past 3 months, studying how he was once a kid too, and how he turned into the man he is known as today. In fact, I find it so interesting that I wanted to share it with you. For example, did you know that Shakespeare lived a double life? By the 17th century, he had become a famous playwright in London, but in his hometown Stratford, where his wife and children were, he was well known as a highly respected businessman and a property owner. I believe that Shakespeare's work is timeless because of the communicative power of his language was mind-boggling. His vocabulary was more than 29,000 words. The average university student is only 14,000. That goes to show how amazing he really was. That's nearly double the vocabulary of the average person. To boot, the printing press just came out shortly before Shakespeare's era. This proved to be drastically important because this made his work much more widely available. The name of Shakespeare's theater is the Globe. Cool fact about the Globe, there was no bathrooms there, so people had to go to the washroom outside of the theater. At the theater, there were 4 different types of people. There were groundlings. They would sit in front of the audience in the dirt. And then there were the earthlings, who were a little bit more wealthy than the groundlings, and they'd have a pillow to sit on. And then there were the people who sat in the tiers and levels, who sat on the seats, and they were very wealthy, or noblemen, and they'd sit up in the stands. And the 4th tier of people, they'd have seats beside the stage. So they'd be right on the stage, and they could look over through the crowd as they were sitting down watching the play. At the Globe, there were 4 types of flags. There's white, which symbolized comedy, black, which symbolized tragedy, and red, which symbolized political. They hung at all times. And on the logo of the Globe was Atlas, a famous Greek god, symbolizing strength. And he was carrying the globe on his shoulders at all times. The balcony scene in William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet is where the plot is set. This scene has Romeo and Juliet express their love for one another and make plans for marriage regardless of their family's history. This makes the audience hopeful that the innocence and purity of the young love will bring an end to the long-time Capulet-Montague family feud. Immediately before this scene, Romeo and Juliet had just met at the Capulet party. Not realizing their family connections, they danced and talked briefly. During this short but memorable encounter, Romeo learned that Juliet was not only a member of the Capulet family, but the daughter of Father Capulet himself. Shakespeare uses the balcony scene as a metaphor of their family situation. We sympathize with Romeo and Juliet because we feel they are separated by the balcony, as well as their families in this scene. The Act 2, Scene 2, lines 33 to 48 represent the fact that love can endure anything, as Romeo and Juliet have demonstrated. If you look closely at the scene, it's when Romeo and Juliet first kiss, which symbolizes, in a way, the kiss of death, with the audience knowing from the prologue that the star-crossed lovers will take their life. However, this kiss also symbolizes the families coming together and ending their parents' strife with their death. The theme of tragic love plays a big role, as the star-crossed lovers prove that they can overcome anything, as their love mends the family feud. The thing that gives the scene dramatic tension is that the audience already knows that the play is going to end. So when Romeo and Juliet commit to marriage, the audience is shaking their heads in despair, hoping that they could tell Romeo and Juliet themselves that it would end in a tragedy.